Is the audio stuttering? Let me know. Testing, testing. Is the audio stuttering? If the audio is stuttering, I have to restart the stream. How's the audio, guys? It's not stuttering? Okay. Well, I am surprised that it's not stuttering, because normally if I turn on my microphone afterwards, it will start stuttering. Oh, thank God I do not have to restart the stream. So anyway, guys, I basically got almost everything down except for turning on my microphones. I tried, guys. I tried. I even put the welcome screen on for 10 minutes before the actual start time. Okay, anyway, let's start over. So for those of you who don't know who I am, and you're dropping in for fun, my name is Joanna, also known as Just Another Flutist, and I work with the Flute Center of New York. We are partnered together, and they send me a bunch of flutes and fun things to try, and then I try them on camera for you guys. So I do have a code. I put it down here. The more information about how to use that code is in the description box below. But if you use that code to order a flute through the Flute Center of New York, you get free shipping within the US. Let's see if I remember this, guys. A 18-month warranty on your new flute. You get to try up to 3 instruments at a time. And what was the 4th one, guys? What was that 4th one? Let me look it up. 10-day trial. You get a 10-day trial instead of, I think normally it's only 7 days or something like that. So pretty great deal if you ask me. And just so you guys know, for just complete transparency, I do earn a small commission on each flute that is ordered using this code. So thank you so much if you do use it. Now, you don't have to, okay? But I mean, there are some good perks for you, okay? Now, the next thing that I wanted to go over, and I was tempted to do this before the live stream, but I'm just going to do it in front of you guys right now, just so that it imprints into your memory, okay? When you are trying new instruments, especially because, when we're working with the flute, we're working with a metal instrument. If you have any kind of dangly jewelry or rings, watches too, can potentially, scratch the flute. So I am taking off my ring in front of you guys, okay? It's off. We're going to put it off to the side, all right? Maybe over here. Okay, so we're going to put it there. I'm also going to take off my watch because I have some, metal bits on here that are really sharp that if for some reason I nick, a flute against it, the flute will get scratched. So take off all rings, jewelry, all that kind of stuff. I'm not even wearing my necklace or my earrings, nothing, just in case. Okay, so you guys got that imprinted into your memory? Yeah, oh, you guys remember the extended trial. I love you guys. All right, yeah, so hey, Phil. Everyone say hello to Phil. Phil is the owner of Flute Center of New York. So Phil, do you like the setup? I have a little close-up camera too. Do you guys see? Ooh, in the corner here. Close-up camera, yes. So, but yeah, so those are kind of your big things that I wanted to start off the stream with. The other thing is, just so you guys know, when I try these instruments, I am trying it from my perspective, all right? I am going to try to be as objective as possible, but just know that there are still going to be some biases coming from me, I can't really help it, but I'm going to try to be as objective as possible. My goal with these streams, with these reviews, is to share with you who I think, or what type of person, or what mouth formation, or whatever would best fit these flutes. I'm going to try my best, to my utmost ability, to describe to you guys how I feel these flutes like to be played. But really, it is up to you guys to decide for yourself. Please do your own research. Please try the flutes yourself before purchasing. And yeah, okay, like, just make sure that you're not 100% relying on just what I say. I know some of you do that. I have heard that some of you do that, and I'm just here to say, you know, you have the freedom to choose to do that, but I am not going to bear that responsibility. Okay, so what you guys are seeing are just from my perspective. That's it. Okay, so please do your own research. Now, let's get to opening these. I know it says Powell on top of here. You see that? You see that? Okay, I know it says Powell, but these are not actually Powell head joints. Yes, so we are going to be looking at head joints today. I have not actually seen the head joints myself. I wanted to save that for like on camera to show you guys. So we have Mancke head joints today. I think you pronounce it as Mancke because it is from Germany. I've heard pronunciations like Mancke and Mancke. So, but I'm just gonna go with Mancke. Now, if we have any German speaking folks in here, can you please write in the chat how to say this? So this is Mancke, and eventually, guys, I will have a little thing up here to show you guys the specs of the specific one that I'm working with. So we're looking at head joints today. We've got 8 of them. So I was thinking about how to, divide it up in this live stream. This live stream is probably going to last around 2 hours, just over 2 hours. So I was thinking, let's do 4, and I'm going to go in the order that the invoice has listed them. So I'm going to actually go and find them. I was thinking of doing 4 for the first hour, so approximately 15 minutes each. I'm going to take a break just so I can, rest my mind a little bit for like maybe 5-10 minutes, something like that. And then I'm going to come back and do the next 4. So in that break time, I have a little break screen on. You guys can also, bathroom break, all that good stuff. So I have realized that although I can make myself go for like 2+ hours live streaming, I am absolutely exhausted by the end of it. But if I take like a 5 or 10 minute break in between, I don't get that exhausted at the end. So in order to do these head joints justice, I want to give myself a break in between. So that's what you guys have to look forward to. Okay, so 4 head joints first, and then break, intermission basically, and then another 4 head joints. Now what we're going to be looking at for these head joints, because I'm going to be trying it on my flutes, we are not going to be talking about the mechanism. Obviously, it's just head joints, so we're not going to talk. We're not going to go crazy with just talking about like all the different mechanism things. Okay, mostly I'm going to be looking at tone. So I'll be doing a lot of tone matching on harmonics to kind of get the head joints to kind of teach me how they like to be played. We will mess with dynamics and tone color kind of all wrapped up together. And also I will kind of test out how the ranges work. So that's going to be the focus here. Yeah, so you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Yeah, Mancke. Oh, Phil. Thank you, Phil. If anyone is going to tell me how to pronounce it, it would be Phil. Thanks, Phil. So, Mancke. Okay, so Mancke. Excellent. Yeah, I've heard people say Mancke, and I'm like, okay, I don't speak German, but I feel like that's not how you pronounce it. Harmonics, articulation, tone, color, dynamics. Yeah. I guess you could, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. So basically nothing about the mechanism. Mancke. Oh, is it Mancke? Mancke? Is that how we say it? Mancke. Yes. Excellent. You guys are ready. All right, let's do this. So I'm first going to just open up both boxes. I'm thinking that you guys probably want to see more of the close-up anyway. So let me get to my close-up screen. Boom. Okay, so whoa! Look at them. Aren't they pretty? Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Wow, 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 wow. So we've got this. Okay. And then I'm just going to set this off to the side. And I think if they're not already in order, I'm going to reorder them. So we've got these guys too. Mancke. Mancke. Okay. So thank you. I was just reading what you guys were saying. So is that not freaking gorgeous? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to put this over here so you guys can see this one a little better. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Wow. Okay, so I could already see from the description of these head joints that basically we have a bunch of different combination of metals and also wood. So let's see if this is in the order that is mentioned here on the invoice. And I'm just going to reorder them if not. So let's see. First one is, okay, so let's see. No, first one should be number 312. Where is number 312? So 14, okay. This is the 18K riser. Okay, so silver tube 18K. Okay, so silver tube 18K 312 is over here. Then we have 14K Mopane lip plate. Okay, yeah. Isn't that freaking gorgeous? Look at this like wooden one. Oh my gosh. Okay, so putting that one there, and then we have a silver tube 2.5 carat, 21.5 carat gold. Isn't that wild, guys? 21.5 carat, like that, my friends, is 21.5 carat. Look at that. That's crazy. I don't actually think I've ever seen that deep of gold before, like up close. That is absolutely wild. I love it. Okay, so I'm assuming this one goes here then. So there, let me just focus me back there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 should be silver tube with 18K lip plate and riser. Yeah, okay, so we've got these 4 in order now, in order that the invoice shows up in. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna put that over there. And then this one, let's see. We're doing silver tube grenadilla wood lip plate. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen this combination before. That is so cool. Okay, so just gonna pop that there for now. So this one goes here. And then the next one down is Kokis wood tube. Kokis wood is this like, you know, this medium brown color over here. So Kokis wood, and lip plate and 14 karat risers. So if you guys look in here, that is absolutely crazy. Just trying to focus on here. There we go. Look at that riser. So the riser is actually gold. So cool. So cool. Okay. And then we have grenadilla wood. Okay, so now we're in the correct order. So we have grenadilla wood, and then we have pink ivory. Ooh, pink ivory. You guys see how like red that wood is? Isn't that is something else. Oh, so pretty. I love it. Oh, So great. Okay, so let me, all right, that means, guys, these ones, let me just focus again, there. These ones are gonna be first half of this review. First hour is right here, second hour right here, okay? So I'm just going to put one box away just so that we only have one box at a time. Okay, so there we go. And now I have 2 flutes here for me to try these head joints on. So I have a Brannon here and I have a Mancke. These are both my flutes, and the Brannon has a slightly narrower diameter of a tube, okay, than the Mancke. So I'm gonna guess that these probably fit in my Mancke better than in my Brannon, but we'll try it. I'm just gonna try it and see what happens. Let's try my Brannon first, simply because I'm a little bit more comfortable with my Brannon. But here we go. So just gonna take this guy. So this is 14 karat gold rose gold tube. Aha. With let's see. Oh, I switched them. Whoops. Okay, give me a second, guys. I switched them around. So it should be this one first. So the Mopane lip plate should be first. So we'll try it and see if it fits. There's currently a little bit piece of tape on here. Oh my goodness. I think it would normally fit my Brannon, but they currently have a little piece of tape on there to make it fit other flutes. So we will try it on my Mancke instead. This one will probably fit better. Okay, so if we did this, yeah, it's a bit of a loose fit, I would say. I might just take off the tape then. Okay, give me a second, guys. I'm gonna take off the tape and put it in my Brannon. Oh. Okay, so someone, I think, already removed some of this. So I'm just gonna see what I could do about this. Oh, I really don't want to, though. Okay. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna guess that even just with this piece of tape gone, that this will fit into my Brannon already. Cause like I could feel that it could go in if I forced it, but you know, you never want to force this stuff. So, okay, let's see if that will fit into my Brannon. I'm gonna put it back in here again. So yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of fitting involved here to see what will work. Okay, so yeah, so that's kind of a loose fit still. So I'm gonna add a little piece of Scotch tape. Okay, so just a little piece here. I'm actually gonna make it even smaller first, because I just need a little bit more width for it to fit comfortably. Okay, so if I go like that, that might just be enough. This is very interesting. I've never actually tried a head joint that, okay, that will fit nicely now. Okay, cool. So I've never actually tried a head joint before that is actually loose on my Brannon. How interesting. Oh, okay, guys, let me switch back to the other scene, and I will put up here the specs of this one. So give me a sec here. Gonna bring me back here. Hello guys. And it is this one. So you guys still have this here. So you guys can still see what's going on in front of me, but now we're going to try it. Here we go. Okay. Oh, I get to play my Brandon. I'm so happy. Okay. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. Wow. I don't think I've ever tried a Mopane wood lip plate on a flute before. So for those of you who are not in the know, I actually do own a Nagahara Mopane piccolo. So I do know that Mopane seems to respond very well to me out of, you know, the woods out there. So I'm going to guess that this will respond well to me because this is a 10 karat rose gold flute. So I respond well to rose gold as well. So this is kind of a combination of my flute and piccolo in a head joint. So just so you know, if I, you know, I think I'm aware of my body's biases. So let's try this. Okay, here we go. I'm actually going to just move this over to the side here. Here we go. Okay. Ooh, feels really nice. Ooh. Oh, hi. Okay, just give me a second here. I need to pop on my finger port and thumb port, especially because this is my own flute, so I don't need to worry about you know, scuffing a new flute. Okay. Ooh. Yep, I knew it. I knew it was gonna work well on me. So let me do some harmonics though and get a really good idea of what's going on here. I know, hello resonance, right? I'm trying to see if I can do a high C. My flute itself is very resistant to high C. So that may not be the fault of the head joint. There it is. There it is. Ooh, that comes out easier than my own head joint. Okay, for me, that is. All right. In terms of what I'm feeling on this head joint, I feel like I have this bubble, if that makes sense. It's like a there's like an air bubble that is resonating at for the lowest note, like right in the front of my mouth. And then as I go higher and higher, that bubble moves back and up, but not like smashed up against the roof of the mouth. It's even the highest notes ride really forward in the mouth, which I'm very surprised by, actually. I'm very, very surprised by that. on a Mancke head joint. So from my students' experience, they one particular student mentioned that the Mancke head joint that they had kind of rides really far back in the mouth. This one does not. This one rides very forward in the mouth. So I don't know. I mean, I noticed that for myself, I'm a pretty forward player. I tend to control things better if they're more forward in the mouth. So I think that's probably why I'm responding fairly well to this one. But yeah, so it's like a resonating, vibrating air bubble that is like the lowest note is right behind your lips, so you actually feel like your lips are actually vibrating, and then it just moves backwards and a little bit higher as you go up. But the range of motion on this flute is actually very small. So, you know, if you're a smaller person like me, you might really enjoy this. If you literally have a very, very large mouth, you may find that you may not be able to control this. I think this is really good for people with smaller mouths, and you want more precise control just in the front of your mouth. That's what I'm feeling, at least. So let me give that now a test, just kind of running up and down. Oh yes, the official Flute Center of New York YouTube is in here. Yay, I'm guessing it's Emily. Is it Emily? Hi, Emily. Sorry guys, I did notice I maxed out the microphones there for a second. Ooh, okay, yeah. So this is a very forward playing head joint. It's sort of making me think about my own Nagahara mini. My Nagahara is also very forward playing, and I think my mouth enjoys that. Like I think I personally feel like I can control things more from the front of my mouth, more precisely. So, I found a head joint I really like. Okay, so, but articulation. Let's figure out articulation. So based on how I'm feeling the fact that I'm only working with maybe this much of my mouth. So even the highest notes don't even get to like halfway, you know, back in my mouth. For those of you who are not in the know, generally speaking on flutes, the lower you play, the more forward your airstream has to sit in your mouth. Like that starting point of the airstream has to sit really forward in your mouth. The higher you go, the more it sits further back. So the way that I describe it to my students is like lower notes, you'll feel like you're blowing cool air into the flute, as if you're blowing on hot soup. But then the higher you go, the more you'll feel like you're like warming your hands, right? You're starting the air from further back in the mouth. But this one doesn't even get to that part. It's more like he, like that's the furthest back it'll go. Yeah. Even the Flute Center of New York recognizes you guys' names. I love it. Oh. Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna guess then that articulation on this guy is gonna be very, very, very forward, more forward than I'm used to doing on my head joint. So, which might be better for me because I tend to tongue, like if I tongue badly on something, I tend to tongue too far forward, especially for high notes. For my low notes, sure, I will tongue them too far back sometimes, but I noticed that that you know that it tends to be easier for me to go forward than to go back in my mouth in general. So let's test it out. Articulation, I'm going to do single tongue F major up and down and then double tongue. And what I'm going to be looking for is how far forward I can stay while doing all of that. So let's give it a shot. Yeah, I'm already going way too far back. Yeah, it's very far forward. Oh, it's so weird because like the place where I'm tonguing is usually way too far forward on my flute, like usually way too far forward, and it sounds like I'm kind of spitting into the flute. That's one of the symptoms of tonguing too far forward, is that it sounds like you're spitting, screaming into the flute. But it's so weird that, because I've related that placement now to like, oh no, that's too far forward, but it actually works on this one. Uh-oh. Okay. That is wild. That is actually wild. Yeah. So your tonguing also is only in like the front 1/3 of your mouth, which means that your double tonguing is definitely more of an up and down motion. You have to be a lot more conscious of making sure that your K sound doesn't go into your throat. So that would be the drawback for people who tend to double tongue further back in their mouth or are more comfortable doing it that way. I'm actually legitimately more comfortable double tonguing in the front of my mouth, so this is working really well for me. Okay, so we've done harmonics, kind of full range, articulation, oh right, dynamics and tone color. They're kind of wrapped into one, to be really honest, guys. One way to make loud notes sound louder is to play it with a richer tone color, and then conversely, the way to make things sound softer is to play it with like a thinner tone color. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now, is kind of tone color and dynamics rolled into one. So yeah, is my head joint going to happen sooner than I thought? Guys, maybe you might be watching me try my future head joint. I don't know. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to make sure I can save up enough money. I'll tell you guys how much it is in a bit. Oh, right. There we go. Now you guys can see the whole flute. So if I go, let's do soft on like the lower B. Okay, let's do it really loud now. Oh, it's actually really hard to overdo this one. Ooh, this can take a lot. Wow. Okay. So, okay, let's do it the 1 octave higher. So I'm trying to find the placement of that little air bubble. So nice thin tone, nice and soft. you're just playing with that air pocket. So the air pocket is you make that air pocket really tiny, but it has to be placed in the same place. So you just kind of like shrink it down to be really soft, thin. So I'm assuming that it means that when you're playing like a thinner tone color, you kind of have to squash the air pocket this way vertically. So squash the air pocket so it's like really tall and thin. And then when I want it to be really, really thick, like a thick sound, you squash the air pocket this way. So let's try that theory out. So you guys almost see I'm almost doing like a fishy face. So this one needs to be a little bit further back. But really it's just around the teeth. So that's actually still really far forward. Cool. Yeah, it's exactly what I thought. So this particular head joint, it's an air pocket. So you're playing with the air pocket. It's pretty easy to, at least for me, it's easy to control because you're not so much playing like literal air billiards in your mouth. Like, because there are some flutes, for example, my Mancke, where if I want to play low notes, I feel like I have to hit a certain point up here and then have it direct down. And then for high notes, I feel like I have to hit a point behind my bottom front teeth. It has to hit another point behind my top lip and then come out. So I don't feel that here though. Here it's really just like, you just have to kind of like form this air pocket and play with the air pocket. Which is how I like to play. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. Oh my gosh. This is really nice. Okay, now I need to tell you guys how much this costs. It does cost quite a bit. We are looking at professional, upper level professional head joints. These are also, I believe, imported from Germany. So it is also higher priced here in the States. Flute Center of New York, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I heard. Okay. Now, so this one is $8,450 for the head joint. I knew that I would be looking into that price range. It do be like that. It do be like that. Okay, guys, we really need to move on to the next head joint. So I'm just going to gingerly place my foot joint here, my body and foot joint here. And I'm just going to swab this out. By the way, make sure you use your own cleaning materials, just because, well, like in this case, they were just head joints sent to me. So there were no cleaning, things here, but these things are really, really cheap. You really just need like an old handkerchief. I was just really extra and went online to get a silk one. You don't need a silk one, okay? But it is better to have some sort of organic soft material. So like 100% cotton would work really well. And a wooden or plastic cleaning rod. And I also have here, you guys can see underneath my flute here, this is a little microfiber polishing cloth. You also don't need something as extra as this, but something to wipe down the outside, something to wipe down the inside, preferably, organic or microfiber or something like that. And then that way, also, I'm just going to wipe all this down afterwards, just so I can wipe them all down at the same time. But yeah, please use your own cleaning supplies though, because if you use new cleaning supplies that were provided with new flutes, essentially you got all your condensation and slobber all over it, which is it means that you can no longer sell the flute with that set of cleaning supplies. Okay, so please make sure you use your own. Okay, we're gonna go to the second one now. So let me pop that open for you guys. Oh, boom, there we go. So the second one is, and let me show you here. I'll show you guys a closer shot, but I just realized that you guys probably want to like read this along while I show you. But it's this head joint here that you see in the corner of the screen. This is another Mancke head joint, 14K rose gold tube, 14 karat lip plate, 18 karat riser. So the riser is the little tube of metal that connects the lip plate to the tube of the head joint. All right. So that little donut connection there is actually 18 karat. Something for you guys to know is that head joints that have, whatever riser a head joint uses will quite heavily affect the sound. So, the darker the gold that you have in the riser, the warmer, mellower, richer your sound is going to be. That's kind of known that is a thing that happens. So lovely. And then what else do we have in here? We have 14 karat gold crown and cork plate. That was actually the same on this one. I forgot to mention that to you guys. So this one, 14 karat gold riser and 14 karat gold crown and cork plate. So the crown is this part, right? This top part. The cork plate is the plate that holds the cork, the head joint cork in place. So right here, that thing there is apparently also 14 karat. All right, so in this case, everything is 14 karat. Well, the tube is 14 karat rose gold. The lip plate, I think it looks like it's rose gold too, to be honest. I don't think it's yellow gold. But 14 carats, 18 karat riser, 14 karat gold crown and cork plate. Yeah. So, I'm just reading what Flute Center of New York is saying about like alcohol drying out wood. Alcohol and then re-oil right away. Yeah, that would work. Or use a non-alcoholic sanitizer. Oh, good to know. Now, you know what? I ended up quarantining these head joints for an extra week since last week this live stream didn't work out. But yeah, anyway, sorry, I just got really distracted there. That was very interesting. Okay, so back to this. So everything is 14 karat except for the riser. The riser is 18 karat. So I'm just gonna straight up tell you guys here. Oh, by the way, you guys probably want a nice little big close up, yeah? Big close up. Okay, so there we go. Make sure it's nice and focused there. Isn't that so pretty? Oh, hello, so pretty. Okay, so let's see here. So we want to what I'm going to expect out of this, just so you guys know what my assumptions are going into this, because it's all 14 karat plus the riser is 18 karat. I am going to expect a very mellow sound from this. So very dark, very mellow. Not really something that zings per se, but is very warm. Okay, so that's what I'm expecting. Let's see how it plays. All right, here we go. I'm gonna switch it back to here so you guys can see me. All right, again, let's see if this fits my flute. Okay, no, definitely needs. This is so interesting. I've never tried instruments like head joints where the head joint was actually too thin for my flute. Oh. I kind of like, I'm very, very surprised. This is really, really cool. Okay, so let's try maybe that much tape because it is very, very loose. So I'm going to like put it like that. Okay, and we'll see. Try to be very careful here. Okay, does that fit? Okay, yeah, that won't come out. So lovely, lovely. Okay. Okay, let's give this a whirl, guys. So here we go. Okay, you know what's interesting? Yes, I do feel that this one is like, it kind of locks me down into a warmer tone color than the previous head joint. But it behaves very similarly. It's the same pocket of air, but it's even more forward. It's getting to the point of it's so forward, it is slightly uncomfortable to me. So, but let's experiment with that. I'm gonna go down real low again. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, it's that air pocket, but it's actually straight up vibrating almost on the outside of my lips. So, whoo, yeah, it makes my lips actually feel like they're vibrating like this. Okay, let me just, there we go. So yeah, like that. It's kind of, whoa, it's very far forward. This does remind me, guys, something I noticed about, here, let me just make sure that that's nice and focused. Okay, something that I noticed about, like the deeper, the whatchamacallit, the gold, the higher the number of carats, basically, the more gold it is, the more forward I have to play. That's something that I've discovered. At least that's how it behaves on me. I don't know how it behaves on you guys, but for me, I feel like the deeper the gold, the more forward in the mouth I have to play. So this one has that 18 karat riser, so I'm not surprised that I have to play more forward than on the previous head joint, which had a 14K riser. Woo! Okay, well, let's try out harmonics on this thing. I'm going to try out doing a similar air pocket type of thing as the first head joint, but this time I'm going to place everything even more forward and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to do some tone matching going up. That is wild, because the way I'm playing that is like almost the way I play one octave lower on my normal head joint. Ooh, that is wild. It's still much more forward in the mouth than I'm expecting. At this point, I expect to be behind the teeth. I am still in front of my teeth. Like that air pocket is still in front of the teeth. Okay, we're finally getting to the teeth. And that's just behind the teeth. Whoa, that is really far forward. That's crazy. thus it's very easy to get the highest harmonic because it's so far forward. I don't have to like feel like I'm swallowing it at all. Yeah, so this is very easy to get high notes out without feeling like you have to play them really far back. So I would say that this flute uses the front 1/4 of your mouth. So even the highest note is probably only about, like, at least in my mouth, I'm visualizing that that air pocket sits on the highest note about like a centimeter behind my teeth, my front teeth. So it's doing that same movement that it did on the previous one. So you can tell that this is in the same family of head joints. That air pocket moves from kind of, you know, sitting sort of middle of the lips. And then as you go higher and higher, it goes, the air pocket kind of travels upward like this. Yeah, except that it's just this head joint is much more forward than the first one. So, ooh, wow, very cool. Let's do, I'm going to do the full range and just kind of mess around with it. Yeah, that was the C8 or C7. It's C7, not 8. Not 8, C7. It's the C7 that I have trouble with on my Brandon head joint. Yeah, wow. The high D sits like really forward in the mouth. That is absolutely wild. Usually it's not that forward. Wow. Okay, that is really, really forward. I would say maybe for me, a slight bit uncomfortably forward, but only a slight bit. As you can tell, I'm already starting to get used to it. Let's now try a bit of articulation. So this is probably going to be super forward articulation, like crazy. So I'm going to expect myself feeling like I'm going, okay, that's what I'm going to expect myself to do for most of it. Yeah, wow, you stay really far forward. I would almost say that the high register feels like my normal middle register tonguing. Like that's actually kind of wild. Okay, so there's somewhere in the middle register that's not quite happening. Okay, I think I'm drawing back too fast. That's what's happening. Yeah, it's very far forward. Like, I feel like I'm tonguing my low register for the middle section, you know, like the way I would on my other one. Yeah, it's now much more focused, right? Now that I like am placing it correctly. Yeah, so the placement of your tongue is very, very important to like keeping the tone focused. The idea being that your tongue has to tongue where kind of the activity is happening. So you know how I was talking about the little air pocket that goes back? So I have to actually follow the air pocket basically with my tongue. Yeah, and since the air pocket is only moving to like right behind my teeth, I'm basically only tonguing in the front of my mouth, which is crazy. It actually, that's crazy, the amount of precision that you need to do this. I think now I'm starting to realize that, because we're working with professional level head joints here, you know, on other like flutes that I've tried that are, you know, maybe step up models or, you know, or beginner models, they have a much larger range. I wonder if subconsciously maybe that was, you know, it just kind of makes it easier to basically have a larger margin of error when you're tonguing on an intermediate or beginner level flute. Yeah, it's making me think that, because here it's very, very tiny margin of error. Like you really, like if you're not tonguing precisely where this where this head joint wants to tongue, it's not going to come out. It's not going to sound good. So, that's interesting. I never really thought of that before, but the range of tonguing, on an intermediate and beginner level flute, the range is much bigger. Therefore, you have larger margin of error. Therefore, you don't have to be as precise with the placement of your tongue. That's so interesting. Okay, now let's do tone color and dynamics. So. Ooh, do you hear that really focused down? It's because I brought the air pocket more forward. That is wild. The higher one feels like I'm playing the lower octave version on my other head joint. I'm also squashing the air pocket this way vertically to make it as like thin as possible. Yes, beginner intermediate flutes are definitely designed to have a larger margin of error. Big brain on the part of the companies. That is fantastic. Because I do find that, like, as a teacher, I find it very difficult to teach my students that precise of movements. It's actually it's very difficult to teach. But we manage. But yeah, it's the larger margin of error definitely explains a lot of things, because you really don't have a large margin of error with these ones. But if you have that kind of control, it's really nice to have a flute that like responds to that much control. Okay, I'm squashing that air pocket down this way and then like just putting in as much air as possible. Yeah, it works. Oh. Sorry about the tuning. I hear the tuning. As you guys can hear, I am pushing this one to crack more than the other one, simply because for me, this flute is it just plays a little bit too far forward. So I personally can't control it that well. However, if you are the type of person that can control the heck out of everything up front really, really well, you'll really like this. If you're a very, very forward player, I think you'll really, really, really like this one. Yeah, you can kind of hear it almost giving way. Yeah. Yeah, you hear it kind of like disappear for a second. So it's clear that like on someone whose mouth has more control up front, they would be able to control this a lot better than I can. Okay, so that's something for you guys to think about when you're looking at professional level instruments, that just because it doesn't respond well to you does not mean that it's not going to respond well to everyone else. In fact, it might respond like heaven to someone else, you know? So if you're a very forward player, I highly recommend this. Like if you constantly feel that on other flutes, your tonguing has that kind of weird thump and that delay between the actual tongue and the note coming out. You hear that dum, 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 dum. Okay, like if you oh wait, no, opposite. If you constantly sound like you're spitting, that's it. Sorry guys, correcting myself. If you feel like you're constantly spitting and screaming into other flutes, no matter what you do, you might like this one. You might like this one a lot. Now, a whole bunch of you guys might have the opposite issue that I just mentioned, which is that you might play these and then end up feeling like you're just constantly choking. Like it sounds like the flute is choking. So let me demonstrate. I'm going to tongue really far back. Do you hear how I'm cracking, right? I'm cracking. There's that thump. There's a slight delay between the tongue and the sound coming out. Right? Like it's it doesn't sound real good, but if you sit really forward in the mouth and you tongue really forward in the mouth, how do I know tone and pitch so perfectly? You do it enough. That's all I can say. You do it enough. If you do it enough and it's kind of your life, you can't really not hear it. Also, lots of training in music school. So, yeah, no worries. Yeah, you guys can hear that, right? Like it sounds like it's swallowed. Yeah. So like that kind of swallowed sound usually means that two things. It can be either the two or both. You're either starting your airstream way too far back, so the type of airstream that you're blowing into the flute is too warm, like that kind of warm, and or your tonguing is too far back. So, that's something to think about, guys. Okay, so we have gone through how this one plays. We're making good time here. We're making good time. So I'm going to put that away and I'm going to swab it out as well. I probably need to swab out this too, but give me a second here to first swab this guy out. Yeah. So it's pretty interesting, at least for me, trying all these head joints and flutes and stuff like that. It's definitely opened my eyes to how wildly differently you can play a flute. And definitely, the things that I think, or I used to think works, in order to play the flute and whatever, I now realize why it didn't work on all of my students. And so I'm kind of going through all of my students right now to sort of rectify anything that I told them before that actually doesn't work for them. Yeah. It does kind of feel like you opened a can of worms though, because it's like, oh dang, I just discovered this about, flute playing. Now I have to go through every single one of my students and redo it all, like redo teaching them their flute. Anyway, okay, so let's see how, okay, I think I do need to just do a quick swab. So I'm going to put together this guy. So putting together this guy. All right, here we go. So just gonna do a quick swab through, make sure we're not like, yep, see, I don't know if you guys can see how slobbery that is. Okay. I need to do it again. Give me a second here. Eventually, I think I will try out the Helix wand. Do a bunch of you guys have that one? The Helix wand? Okay, that's much better. It's not perfect, but it's better. Okay. Well, let's try out the next one. So give me a second to make that go away. But this one, ba-boom. So this one is a silver tube. I'll show you guys right here in the corner of the screen here. Make sure it's actually focusing. Okay. This is a silver tube with 21.5 karat gold lip plate and riser. That is actually wild. I mentioned at the beginning of this live stream that I don't think I've ever played or come into close contact with this deep of gold. 21.5 carat. That is so cool. And then the crown and the cork plates inside is silver as well. So we got silver everything except for like a super deep gold lip plate and riser. So what I'm going to expect from this is that this is going to basically have more of that, the brightness of silver, but mellowed down. Like the edges of the silver sound are mellowed down. Now, so you guys know, it will also be mellowed down by the fact that I'm putting this on a 10 karat rose gold flute. Okay, so maybe on your flute, this might sound brighter. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now, I wanted to also just give you guys a nice big close-up because I know you guys like that. There you go. So you guys see how yellow that gold is? Isn't that crazy? Oh, it's so pretty. But like compared to, you know, this gold compared to this gold, you see how like pinkish orangey-ish mine is, right? So this is rose gold, so it has copper in it. This one, it seems like probably does not. This one is just straight up 21.5 karat yellow gold, I think. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, wow. So in my experience, yellow gold is mellower than this. So I'm very curious to see how this, like how much it mellows out the silver. That's what I'm very curious about. So let's try it, guys. Let's try it. Okay. Back to there. Okay. I'm gonna guess that this won't fit, so I'm gonna need to put on Scotch tape. Oh, this one is thicker. I cannot actually use my own flute on this. This one will probably fit in my Mancke. So let's try. Just to be completely transparent, my Mancke very badly needs an overhaul. Okay, so, but we're gonna work with what we've got. It definitely has, you know, old book smell. It's like old book, old flute smell. Definitely. Oh yeah, it's loose in this one. Okay, so I'm gonna have to put, give me a second here. Let's be very careful with our instruments. I'm gonna need to put on quite a big piece of tape. I would say maybe like that. So let's try this out. Okay, I'm gonna put this over here. Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking quite a big piece of tape for this one. So just so you guys can see what I'm doing. I think something like, nope. That's gonna go right off the edges. Okay, there. Let's try that. And see if that fits. This is quite a honking big piece of tape, but I think it needs it. Nope, it's too tight now. Okay, give me a second here to make this a little less thick. Okay, grabbing a hold of that. There we go. Yes. Okay, so nope, we're using a new piece of tape. Okay, I have a little like line of tape over here. So not quite that long. Let's go with maybe something like that. So this is how you try head joints, by the way, that may not fit your flute. You can just straight up use Scotch tape. So let's try this. Okay, good. That will not fall out. Excellent. Okay. All right, let's try it on here. Okay, so now let's set up the correct expectations for you guys. This is now a silver head on a silver body. So now what we're going to do is expect a silver sound that's been mellowed out by this crazy dark gold. Okay, let's try it out. Okay. Okay, this one definitely sits further back, I think, from the silver content. So, that little bit of noodling around, what I was doing was, because I know that these are all Manckes, okay, so because they're all Manckes, I just straight up assumed that it was a pocket of air type of deal. But what I realized I was doing was I was going more for that, like almost like a hollow tone version. So like I was actually kind of doing more of my fishy face, so I was squashing that air pocket this way a little bit. So it's a little bit more elongated. So in order to get that sound, I was doing that kind of like the vertical squash version of the air pocket, which means that I'm actually trying to, I think I was subconsciously trying to make it not quite so thick and rich. I was actually trying to go against that a little bit. So yeah, this lip plate and riser really does warm up the sound like crazy. Let's try to play in a similar way that I did the previous two head joints, where that pocket of air is not squashed this way. Do you guys hear how like naturally warm and thick and rich it is? It's like naturally very rich. So I guess if you want to have a generally warmer sound but still have the projection of a silver, this would be a really good one. The other thing is, I'm thinking that if you have more trouble making a rich sound than a thin, shimmery sound, then you might like this, because this will start you off warmer. And then since you might be very good at creating that thinner sound, you can go kind of more in the direction of thinner. So that's what I'm gonna guess would be good for people. So yeah, I have to go pretty extreme when I'm doing a kind of a thinner tone color. Yeah, I have to straight up drop my jaw to do that. Yeah, Casimir rich. Yeah, agree. Yeah, I have to drop my jaw to make this one thin and hollow. That's really interesting. But guys, I forgot to do harmonics, so give me a second. Yeah, and it sits further back in the mouth, so I have to kind of readjust to that now. On this head joint, by that point, that pocket of air is already sitting at the teeth. That's usually what I expect. I expect it to sit at the teeth at this point. Yep, and that's right behind the teeth. So that pocket of air has now shifted behind the teeth. Yeah, that's getting into like back territory now, like back half of the mouth territory. Oh, but that top one comes out real nicely. Yeah, okay, so this is still a pocket of air, but I would say that if you're going for a more like, I guess, middle of the tone color chart, you have to play a little bit more vertically open. So the pocket of air itself is vertically more open. If you want to go into that hollower sound, you even have to drop your jaw to make it vertical enough. So let's now try out, since we're talking about tone color dynamics, let's try it out a little bit more. Yeah, I have to drop my jaw. Yeah, and that sits further back than I'm expecting right now. Yeah, but the in terms of dynamics, you're just making that pocket of air smaller or bigger. That's all that's happening there. But I'm also trying to make it thinner. So I'm like, okay, now for the loud one. As far as like, if you were to compare this to other instruments that I'm used to, I don't recall feeling this open vertically while trying to play that richly. So this definitely is like, if you tend to play more on the hollow side, so vertically open side, I think you'll like how this one warms you up. Yeah. Oh, guys, I forgot to say how much the previous head joint was. So we're just going to insert that right now. So let me just change it. Give me a second here. Okay, so this one with the 14K everything except for the 18K riser is a 9,625. Yeah, it's pretty steep. It's pretty steep. But you can hear the lovely sound that you get out of it. Now, this one that we have, this one, because I was about to give you guys the price and I realized I didn't give you guys the price of the old one, or the previous one, that is. This one is 6,175. Okay, so you're looking at about 6,200 for this particular one. Yeah, if you play more hollow and you want a flute that will warm you up, this one will do it. Okay, let's do a bit of articulation. I'm gonna guess that the articulation sits a little bit further back than the last one we did. So there's a point in the middle. I think I might be not coming back fast enough. Yeah, I didn't come back fast enough. So this is the opposite of the previous head joint. Yeah, this one definitely, the tonguing, it feels a little bit more, like I would say closer to most other flutes that I play. Like at least the range is a little closer. The previous head joint was really forward. This one, it's just like kind of tilt, you know, kind of shifted back a little bit. For me, my the lowest note is tongued just like around my teeth, and then it kind of like comes back from there. It like comes up the tooth and then back a little bit. It's still pretty forward in general for a flute, but it feels a little closer to what I'm more used to, like a little bit further back tonguing, just a hair. This tonguing feels very similar to my Brennan, I would say, and I think you guys could hear that because I was a little bit more comfortable with it. Okay, so that's that one. I want to noodle around a little bit more though. Yeah, that needs to be further back than I expect. Yeah, so it's like, I feel like I'm playing like that, and it's further back than I think actually both of the previous two head joints that we tried. So if you're more of a back player and like middle of the mouth hollow player, you'll like this one, I think. Yeah. Okay, so perfect. We have one more to go before I want to go on a break, which is kind of perfect timing as far as I can tell. So let me swab this guy out. I want to see what you guys are saying. Isn't Jasmine Choi great, Henry? Isn't Jasmine Choi great? Yeah, that lady is amazing. Like, I haven't met her in person before. I've seen her in person, but I haven't like met her. But oh man, she's the whole package, guys. She's the whole package. All right, so I think we're pretty good there. Nice and dry. Ba-boom. Okay, last one. Let's see what this one is about. Give me a second here to make that pop up. There we go. So we're looking at this guy now. So here we go. I'm just gonna very quickly go through the specs with you guys that are listed up here. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4. We have silver tube with 18 karat gold lip plate and platinum riser. Okay, so platinum is known to be denser, I believe. Flute Center of New York, correct me if I'm wrong. Denser than like the densest material. Hence density 21.5. That piece was written for a platinum flute, I believe. So the riser, which is again the donut that holds the lip plate to the tube, is platinum. So we are looking at something that creates a very dark sound. So I'm gonna guess even darker than this one, than the previous one, or same, but maybe like less mellow, but darker. That's what I'm going to guess. I'm guessing that. The crown is also 18 karat gold, whereas the previous one was silver. This one is 18 karat gold crown and cork plates. The cork plate is also gold. So there's a little bit of extra gold in this one than in this one, but this one, the lip plate and riser were darker gold. So that's interesting to kind of see how that will play out. I'm just going to make sure it's focused there, and I'll give you guys another nice big close-up. Yummy. Okay, don't eat these, guys, okay? But isn't that just freaking gorgeous? Yeah, so you can see that gold crown, right? The gold crown. Unfortunately, you guys can't see the gold cork plate, but it's underneath here, okay? Inside, and then see that? And look how, like, So on the inside here, it's really quite dark. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm gonna see if I can just give you a nice big close up. There. Yeah, you guys can't really see it, but on the inside, it's a really dark platinum. Yeah. It's so pretty. Oh, man. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom you guys back out again. All right, so let's head back to our normal scene here. And okay, this one already has a piece of tape on it. I'm going to guess this one might fit my Mancke. So let's see. Ooh, it's actually tight. Okay, so I can actually take off. I can take off this piece of tape here. So I'm just gonna take that off. Okay, so put that off to the side. Rub off any of the extra adhesive. Ooh. All right, nice and clean. Okay, I think this one will fit my Mancke like perfectly. That's what I'm gonna guess. Okay, nice and clean. All right, let's try this out. I don't think there's gonna be any hope of it fitting into my, oh, it's a little loose now. Ooh, if it's a little loose, should we try it on this guy? Yeah, no, does not fit. Back to the silver. Okay, so give me a second to do that. I'm just going to place this in here while I get a piece of tape. I'm gonna guess something about as big as the last one, so not too big. So let's try that, see if that fits. Oh, too much already. So that's too much. We will now try a slightly smaller size. So into the tape reject pile. Again, put this down. So a smaller piece. Let's try that. Nice and small. Oh, piece of fluff. All right. Let's try that. Okay. Great, great. This is a perfect fit, actually. Excellent. Okay, so we're gonna try this. All right, I'm going to guess again, very dark sound. And I probably need to, I probably need to play with that drop jaw again. That's what I'm gonna guess, but let's try this out. So my initial reaction is that it does play very similarly to the previous one, but I almost feel like that pocket of air needs like an extra little round bump around the, like the front top of it. So the front, like diagonally front top of the air bubble has to have like another air bubble on top of it. So it's like an air bubble on top of an air bubble, like this. Does that make sense? Air bubble with another air on, like stuck onto another air bubble. You know, like those double bubbles. You know, like when you play with bubbles, and then there's some bubbles that have like you know, half a bubble on top of a bubble. That's what that feels like. So like the half bubble that's on top is like facing this way. Okay, so yeah, I have to have that like extra bubble on top of the bubble. So, but otherwise plays very similarly to the previous one. So let's try to do some harmonics. Steely might not be the right word, but you can't think of the right one. Yeah, it's powerful. This thing is, I like how David said that this is like a reverse flat volcano. Yeah, that's a very great way of putting it. Yeah. It's also, it sits further back than I expect. So, because that note is already right in front of the teeth, which is much further back than the previous head joints. I would say that that one is almost like, it's kind of at the teeth a little bit behind. Yeah, it's actually a little bit behind, but that little like, the parasite bubble is like right at the teeth, and then the rest of the bubble is behind the teeth. Yeah. Yeah, that's already riding, I would say. It feels like about a centimeter behind my front teeth. Yep, we're getting into kind of halfway, like half of the mouth, halfway point in the mouth. Yeah, definitely goes into the back half of the mouth for the highest notes here. So definitely, again, kind of closer to what I'm normally used to on a flute in terms of the range. But that little like parasite bubble is something that I keep forgetting to do. So, but once I think about the little like extra parasite bubble, then it really works. So you kind of have to like almost like round out your mouth a little bit more this way. That's kind of how it feels. So let's try. Okay. Yeah, parasite bubble. Yeah, that definitely works. Okay, so we're gonna try, actually, let's go real low. Yeah, so that definitely goes further back. Yeah, that's further back than the first two. It's about the same area as the previous one. Okay, let's do articulation. So articulation is probably going to be pretty much exactly the same as the previous one. But the way that I'm visualizing it is that I'm tonguing the space under the parasite bubble. So it has to be under the parasite bubble. Yeah, that's nice and clear. Okay, so the low ones I get, the higher ones I need to figure out. Wait. Ha! Did you guys notice that that one sounded the best? So it's because I was visualizing the bubble with the parasite bubble going from the front of my mouth and coming back, and then I am double tonguing under the bubble. So I'm literally double tonguing against what I visualize is the bubble, and it works. Because the first few ways I was actually still double tonguing two up front, and then that's why we kind of lost a bit of that, like the richness of this particular head joint right up on top. So interesting. Okay, now for some tone color dynamic stuff. Let's see how that parasite bubble affects it. Okay, this is very interesting. If you play in such a way that you make the parasite bubble bigger, you get a richer sound. If you play in such a way that you like minimize the parasite bubble even to just nothing, so there's no more parasite bubble, then you end up with a thinner sound. That's so weird. So can you guys hear like a huge difference in tone color even with the same dynamic? That's usually you can't do that. At least in my experience on other flutes, you can't make that big of a difference. That is so cool. I'm gonna try it up top. So the parasite bubble is what makes it really rich. That is so interesting. Okay, I'm gonna try it real loud. Wow, you can make a difference too on the loud ones. That is so cool. You usually don't have that much control. That is actually wild that you can control that. That is really cool. That is so cool. So if you are wanting to control your tone color in any dynamic, this is the one. Isn't that wild? That's wild. That's actually wild. That's crazy. You hear how I can actually just like make it hollow immediately? Joanna terminology, a parasite bubble is part of it. That is so crazy. Wait, this is fun. Okay, if you want to make it loud, you make the like the main bubble bigger, right? So the main bubble gets bigger or smaller depending on how loud or soft you want to be. The parasite bubble, you make that parasite bubble bigger to get a richer sound, or you eliminate it completely to get as hollow of a sound as possible. That is so cool. That's cool, man. That's really cool. I wonder if you have that much control over tone color, because if you think about it, we have 3 different metals in here. We have silver, we have gold, and we have platinum. So I wonder if having the combination of the 3 makes it so that you can have this much control over tone color. Like that is crazy. This is the tone color king, okay? If you want to just play with tone color, this is the one. This is the one with basically as many metals as you can mix together. Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, I'm already running a bit late. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this away. I'm going to swab it out. And right now I'm going to take a 5-minute break. So I was going to take 10 minutes, but I think I'm just going to take 5 minutes instead. We're going to come back and do the other 4 in the same way. So same exact way. That'll take us to another hour or so. So I need 5 minutes. I'm just going to chug some water, go to the bathroom, freshen up, all that good stuff. So if you guys want to do the same, now is the time if you want to catch the rest of the live stream. But I'm going to put on the break screen right now, and I'll be back in 5 minutes, all right? See you guys in a bit. Hello, I'm back. Okay, chug my water. I'm refreshed. Everything is great. Now, I noticed someone did ask me how much is the last head joint I tried. Thank you for the reminder. I always forget to tell you guys how much these things cost. So this last one, which was this one up here, silver tube, 18 karat gold lip plate, platinum riser, 18 karat gold crown, and cork plate, which is this one that I'm pointing at right now. This one is $6,975. Yes, it's a lot of money. So we're definitely working with very high level instruments here. Okay, so I will wipe these down later. I'm thinking maybe I might have a little chatty chat with you guys after I'm done trying these guys, and during that time I can just, you know, wipe up the head joints with you guys. So let's look at our second box here. Ooh, so pretty. Okay, so now let's see which one was the first one we were going to work on. I think it was going to be this one. So this one, let me just change the specs on here for you guys. Come on. There we go. So we've got here, I'm going to show you guys and focus on this as well. Make sure it's nice and focused. Okay, so this is, I can't tell if that's actually focused or not. Yeah, that is. Okay, there we go. So this is very interesting. This is also a mix of a bunch of things. This is silver tube. So the tube itself is silver. Grenadilla lip plate, 14 karat gold riser, silver crown, and cork plate. Okay, so we've got silver everything except for the lip plate and riser. Lip plate is grenadilla wood, and then we have 14 karat riser. So now guys, I know you're waiting for it, so let me give you that close-up. There you go. Nice close-up. I'm gonna actually just zoom this in so you guys can see this beauty. Let me just make sure it's actually fully in. Yeah. Oh, isn't that pretty? This is like actually just this is so pretty. I don't normally get to see head joints that are this interesting, you know? So this is a very interesting one, as well as the first one that I ever tried for you guys, where you can truly see where the riser starts, right? Isn't that interesting? Like you can really see that it's like a donut of material, but like normally on other head joints, it just kind of blends in with the rest of the lip plate. But yeah, you can really see it here. Isn't that cool? So, guys, let's zoom you guys back out. Have this focusing there, and then move back to here. Okay, so we're gonna try this now. It does have a piece of tape on here. I'm gonna try it on my Mancke and see what happens. Okay, that'll fit. Good. I don't have to do any crazy adjustments to it. It is a little bit loose, so we're just gonna be careful with this. Okay, there we go. Actually, no, I am gonna adjust it. It's a little, just a tiny bit loose for my preference. So we're just gonna put a tiny piece of tape on it. Like that, like super tiny. Okay, so let's give this a shot. Just like that. I just need like a tiny bit more resistance. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, that's already much better. Still a tiny bit loose, but it's okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let's give this a shot. Don't really know what to expect here because I'm not sure how the grenadilla is going to respond to me. I have noticed, just so you guys also are aware of my personal body bias, is that My body and my mouth does not really respond well to grenadilla. Okay, just so you guys know. All right, but putting it out there, grenadilla doesn't really work with me. It's very resistant towards me. But the riser is 14 karat. I usually respond well to gold risers. So this is going to be interesting for me. Okay, let's give this a shot. I'm still able to make a very powerful sound out of this. So I can't really make out what I'm doing here. So let's just go straight to the harmonics and see what I figure out. We've got a little bit of a parasite bubble happening again, but the parasite bubble direction is a little bit different. So this does not play very forward. And I wonder if it's the grenadilla wood kind of makes that happen. This, like by the time I play this note, I'm usually feeling it more right behind my teeth, but I'm feeling it like middle of the mouth already. So this is pretty far back. Yeah, that's already, woo, like back-ish corner of my mouth, which means that I think I might have trouble going higher than that. It's gonna feel like it's coming from like from my throat, like the top of my throat. Yeah, it feels like it's coming from the back of my throat, those highest ones. So that is actually a hair further back than my flute. So this is much further back. I now know why. I'm gonna guess why grenadilla doesn't work well for me. I'm wondering if it's because it does kind of make you play more in the back of your mouth. Yeah, that's interesting. And as you guys can hear, I'm more of a front player. So that's really interesting. Now, about the parasite bubble. So this whole, you know how I was talking about the parasite bubble with the last one? So that parasite bubble, like if I'm facing this way, okay, the bubble is like this, and then the parasite bubble is like this on top of it, okay? Now, the parasite bubble on this one, it's the same feeling, except the parasite bubble is not up here. It's on the back. So it's facing back like this, into the back of it's the upper diagonally facing this way. The bubble is like right there. Isn't that weird? So the previous one was, the bubble was here, and then now it's here. It's so cool. So for people who like to play very kind of like more of the fuller kind of back half of their mouth, and they like to kind of like elongate things this way, you'll really like this one. This one might really like respond well to you. Yeah. And the lowest note feels like a note like on the previous head joints. So the second head joint was the most forward playing. My lowest note here feels like middle register on that one. Like, that is crazy. Yeah, this is really actually, like, in terms of low notes, this is pretty far back. It's like, it's still in front of your teeth, but it's kind of like, it's a little bit back behind your lips. Kind of in the space between your lips and your teeth. I'm also thinking about that parasite bubble going backwards more. Yeah, I definitely feel like I have to go all the way back in the back of my mouth and then come up front again. So let's try articulation. So this means that I think for this one, for this flute, my articulation is going to be a little bit on further back. I'm going to see how the parasite bubble being on the back end of the top part of the bubble affects the tonguing. I'm very curious about that. That's too far back. Oh, I didn't even do a single tongue. But whatever, let's finish this. Is not very natural to me, but I can tell what you're supposed to do. The other way I mentioned was the bubbles here, the parasite bubbles here, you're tonguing like this against the bottom of the parasite bubble and the main bubble. So you're going tucka, 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 tucka against the bubble. So in this one, it's a little bit, it's the same idea, but when you are, it's reversed. So you're hitting the main bubble underneath, like I'm visualizing in my head when I tongue, I'm hitting my tongue under the bubble for the ta, and for the ka, I'm hitting the, like a little bit of the parasite bubble. So ta, ka, ta, ka, ta, ka, ta, ka, ta, ka. And then I have to kind of like follow the bubble as it travels back in the mouth. It's very interesting. And so the frontmost part is like, I would say more like bottom of your front teeth, I think, and then it moves back from there. Yeah, it's like right at the bottom edge of your front teeth, my front teeth at least. Ooh, definitely not very natural for me. But you can tell that it sounds better if I really think of it going that way. It sounds really good. So if you're like a, middle of the mouth, back of the mouth player, you like to kind of like really open up the back of your mouth, this will respond very nicely to you. Very nicely. Okay, let's now fiddle with tone, color, and dynamics. I'm gonna wonder if it's the same thing, where it's like you just kind of eliminate the parasite bubble for a hollow tone, and then you make the parasite bubble bigger for a richer tone. Let's try that. Yeah, what? Did you hear that? Yeah, same thing. Yeah, because the parasite bubble is going back, like it's kind of like growing from the top back of the bubble. That is so cool. That is very cool. I personally have an easier time controlling the other one. Do you hear that opening up? It's really hard for me to do, but I can kind of like make myself do it. Yeah. It's very easy to do if you like moving the kind of the back half of your mouth more. Yeah. Easy to control if you know what you're doing and if it's natural for you. So definitely back half players that like to go oh with the back of their mouth, really opening it up and stuff like that, messing around with it, you find it's easier to control that part of your mouth. You'll like this one. So this is the Mancke head joint for all you back players. Okay, so parasite bubble faces the back too, diagonally upward. Okay, lovely. So that is that one. I am going to swab it out. Let's see what you guys are saying too. Now you're gonna hear in your head parasite bubble. I will say that so far I have not experienced any other head joint that does this kind of parasite bubble thing. It's just this one. It's just Mancke for now. From what I can feel, it's just Mancke. Okay, so beautiful. That's nice and dry. I'm gonna pop that back in here. Okay. Let's try this next one. So this next one, okay, the price of this guy. So the price of this guy with these specs, this guy will be $3,100. So quite a bit cheaper. Why? Because it does not have platinum. Platinum is really expensive. I already knew that platinum was really expensive, but then when last year, when my husband and I went ring shopping for, because we got married last year, we were looking at prices, and we're looking at basically hypoallergenic rings. So we were looking into either titanium or platinum, because platinum is known to not really react, like people don't really react to platinum. At least I don't think so. It's just known to be one of those hyperallergenic metals. But holy crap, the price of a platinum ring, just like a ring, okay, is insane. Not even with any stones in it or anything like that. Platinum is crazy expensive. It's more expensive than gold. So the ring that I have here, in case you guys are wondering, this is titanium. So this guy's titanium. There you go. Okay, this is my wedding ring. And it's very light. And so we ended up getting these ones just because they are very hardy, but they also are not as expensive as platinum. So yeah, that's probably where the price difference is coming in. It's not so much in the cut or the how high level it is. It's really just the materials. So you have far less gold in here too. The only gold in here, I think, is just the riser. Is that right? Yeah, it's only the riser. So since only the riser is gold, you're saving a lot of money there. Okay, so just to kind of explain why there's that huge price gap. All right. Okay, now let's move on to the Kokis wood. This is interesting. I actually don't really know how I respond to Kokis wood. There's this guy right here. Let me just make sure it's actually focused on him. Also, let me change to head joint number 6. So this is Kokis wood tube and lip plate. And you can see how the lip plate is actually carved into the wood, right? And then you can see the riser here is 14 karat gold. And then this is called a tenon. So this is the part that fits into your flute. This part is also 14 karat gold. As far as I can tell, nothing really is made mention of the crown, but it is a wooden crown. Okay, so this is kind of what we're working with here. I have no idea which flute this is going to fit into, but wait, first, before we do that, I know you guys want this. There we go. Pretty, isn't it? So let me do a nice big close-up and let me actually focus it properly. There we go. Gorgeous, isn't it? So pretty. Oh yeah, look at that. Isn't it wild how much like clearer it is to see where the riser begins on a wooden head joint? That's so cool, isn't it? Like this is why a riser is so important to how you end up playing on it, right? Like it really affects it because it's the first thing in contact with your airstream. So cool. Oh, I like the look of this wood. I'm a big fan of this kind of like, you know, sort of like cool brown color, but I don't know how it's going to actually respond to me. So we'll see. All right, let's zoom you guys back out. And I'm going to switch back to our main scene here. Okay, so just gonna make sure this is nice and focused again. Okay, let's see. There's a piece of tape on here, and I'm not sure which flute this is gonna fit in. Ooh, it'll fit into my Brannon. Lovely, but it needs a lot more tape. So we're going to actually just take this one off entirely because it's already coming off somewhat. So let's put that off to the side. Hope you guys don't mind that this live stream is probably gonna run pretty late. Because I'm supposed to end very soon, but that ain't happening. Okay, let me just get all the residue off of here. Okay. So, here we go. Quite a bit of tape. Let's go with that amount, okay? So we're gonna give this a try and see if that will at least stay put in my Brannon. Yes, it will. It'll stay put. Okay. Oh, this looks so interesting. Oh, this looks so interesting. Okay, so here we go. I have no idea how Kokis wood is going to respond to me, so let's see what happens. Here we go. Not bad. I almost feel like you get a bit of that, you definitely get that woody sound, but because of the riser, I think that helps it kind of have more of that metal sound again. So, wow, super interesting. But I can tell that I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna go straight to harmonics. Oh, Parasite Bubble is back and in a different place. Yeah, definitely a woody, reedy sound. Yeah. Yep, parasite bubble, definitely back. Oh, this is a tough one. This is also another one that I think naturally doesn't fit me very well, but I can make it work. I definitely think there are people out there who would love this though. And so give me a sec, guys, though. I'm going to keep going. Oh, it's not a parasite bubble. It's a separate bubble. Oh, okay. Okay, we're gonna call that good. But, okay, so what I thought was a parasite bubble was actually what's happening is that in the when you're playing up front, the two bubbles are one and the same. Okay, so here's the thing: there's a stationary bubble and then there's a moving bubble. So the stationary bubble is right here, like around, like I would say right in front of my bottom front teeth. There is a stationary bubble there. But it just so happens that your moving bubble for low notes starts pretty much right there. I would say right on top of it, which is why I said that it feels like a parasite bubble, because they're actually kind of overlapped. So there's one bubble here. You have your moving bubble that's a little bit overlapped, but just a hair like above it, okay? And then that moving bubble will go back, like up and back in the same way that it did on like a couple head joints ago. Not quite as far back as the Grenadilla. So it's a little bit more forward playing than the Grenadilla. Just a hair, not too much. But yeah, so it's a separate moving bubble. Okay, so there's two bubbles. That's interesting. So, but I'm going to treat the stationary bubble like the parasite bubble. I'm going to guess that that's kind of where you're, playing with the tone color. So, interesting. Anyway, I do want to go up and down a little bit. So, yeah, so for the low B, the two bubbles converge. So it's the same bubble. No, not quite. It's like sitting on top of it. So the stationary bubble feels like a parasite bubble that's like directly under it. Did I do a LaFon head joint review? I can't remember, guys. Can you look it up for me? Go to my channel and then search within my channel. That's what I would do right now if I had time. Okay. Yeah, so the stationary bubble is underneath. The moving bubble is just sitting on top of it. So that's why the stationary bubble feels like a parasite. Let's do some tonguing. I'm going to guess that the tonguing feels a little more forward than on the grenadilla wood lip plate. So let's try it. I didn't draw the D, E, and F in the middle register back fast enough. So the reason why I figured that out was because I noticed that they kind of sounded like I was sort of spitting into it, you know, and it kind of like the D, E, and F kind of had half of their resonance just stripped. Yeah, okay. So the tonguing is I would say only a tiny bit more forward than the grenadilla lip plate. Just a bit more forward. You're kind of starting from between the teeth and then moving up the tooth and a little bit further back from the roof of the mouth. You're just double tonguing against the bottom of the bubble. So the bottom of the moving bubble. Yeah, so your double tonguing has to go back and forth with the bubble underneath it. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so we're gonna do tone, like tone, color, and dynamics. Yep. Okay, so the color is dependent on the stationary bubble. So if you make that bubble completely go away, then you'll end up with this really kind of hollow tone. If you make that bubble really big, then you'll end up with a really rich tone. So isn't that wild? That's actually wild how big of a difference that is. These head joints are really like color heavy, I find, in terms of like control. So we'll see if LaFon head joints are available for me to try, but that's definitely on the books. Unnatural feeling to me, but you can hear how much of a difference it makes, right? Like if I let that bubble really like happen, it gets really rich. Yeah, you can also I'm actually finding that I'm doing my vibrato in that stationary bubble too. That is pretty wild. That's pretty cool. Yep. Okay. So it's exactly what I thought. It's not a parasite bubble because it's, in this case, on its own, but it pretty much behaves the same way as the parasite bubbles did in the previous two flutes, head joints, sorry. Very cool. Well, that's that one. Let's give this a nice wipe down. I want to see what you guys are saying. Yeah, I was thinking about trying a Lafon head joint as potentially part of my upgrading of my head joint, but you guys heard how the first head joint felt to me in this stream. So yeah, something that I shared in a different stream with you guys. Oh, by the way, how much did this cost? This cost $4,020. So I'm gonna guess it's because of the wood itself. The wood itself, I think, is a little bit on the pricey side. So, and also there's more wood than on this one. Yeah. So this one's $4,020. And now something that I didn't expect to try a head joint in front of you guys that I legitimately really am considering for myself now. And the reason is because previously when I made the video about the whatchamacallit, when I was looking for a backup piccolo, that did not go over very well. I'm not sure if you guys know that, but I from my observation, most people liked it, but the people who didn't like it were very vocal about it. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, it hurt my feelings. So I have decided to not show you guys my personal journey to find, you know, instruments that for myself, that I choose for myself. But it might have accidentally happened this time. So lucky you guys, I guess. Okay. Okay, let's look at this one. This one is, this is full grenadilla. Okay, so let's change this to head joint number 7. 7, there we go. Okay, so we got this guy. I'm just gonna focus on him. So as you can see, grenadilla wood pretty much all throughout, silver crown and cork plate. Oh, that's interesting. I could not tell. Yeah, so silver crown and cork plate. So I guess the cork plate on the inside. Yep, if you look on the inside, I don't know if you guys can see it. It is silver on the inside. So silver and grenadilla, that's basically what we're working with here. Now I've already told you guys how I respond to grenadilla, but here we go. Wait a second, guys. You guys want this. There you go. Okay. So, let me just get this to focus, and then let's do a big close up because you guys like that. There we go. It's really gorgeous. Like, you see the way that the the lip plate is just carved right in. It's so pretty. And then this one, you can see that there's no metal riser in this. So this one is going to be very interesting because I think this one will sound more woody than the previous one. The previous one, I think, sounded more like kind of your typical metal flute, but this one will probably have more of that woody sound. I feel like my camera's having so much trouble focusing on this. There we go. Sorry, guys. There. Now you have a nice close-up view of this. And you guys can see the price, actually. Beautiful. Really gorgeous. I'm expecting a woodier sound and probably very much back of the mouth playing because there's so much grenadilla. So that's what I'm expecting. Let me switch back and we'll focus on this again. Whoop. There we go. Okay. I don't know which flute this is gonna work on, so let's try. Let's just try on the Brannon. No hope of it getting into the Brannon whatsoever, so we're going on the Mancke. Here we go. Mancke all silver. Pretty loose, so we need some tape. Put this down, get some tape. Let's try only a little bit. Okay. Oh. Make sure the tape doesn't flip upward. Yeah, nice. Okay, so that'll stay. All right. All right. Okay, let's try this. I'm expecting back of the mouth, woody. So we're yeah. So the way that low C is coming out in terms of like where it, in comparison to other flutes, I feel like I'm playing a middle register note, but it works on the low C. Usually when I play that far back in my mouth, the low C will never come out. So ooh, that goes right back into the, so it almost starts like, I would say the low C kind of feels like it's around, like behind the teeth, I think. No, right at the teeth. That's already really far back. Okay, well, I'm right. Grenadilla plays really far back. So let's now try harmonics, because in terms of, I can only feel the placement of it, but in terms of what's actually happening with like air buckets and air bubbles, I don't know. So let's try harmonics. Holy crap. So that's only like a middle register C. And that one already feels like a high register version on my flute. So okay, I have a suspicion, but I'm gonna keep going. Go further back than that. Yeah, I can't go further back than that. My mouth doesn't go far back enough. See, I'm like constantly cracking it because I can't make it go far enough back. Okay, so it goes so far back, it starts to go down the throat. Okay, that's what it is. It starts to go down the throat. There it is. Yeah, it goes down the throat. So like, so this is the roof of your mouth into your throat, okay? No. That it's an air bubble again. So it's a little air bubble, and on this one it's actually a very small air bubble. So it's a small air bubble that you're hitting. So you're aiming to hit this air bubble. It starts from your teeth for the lowest note. And then by the time you're playing the middle register, you're already back here, which typically is like high, like beginning of high register for other flutes. And then as you go back, you're actually going like, as you go higher and higher, you're actually going you're moving that air bubble across the roof of your mouth into your throat. So like kind of the top of your throat where it meets the roof of your mouth, this area here. So it starts to go down here. So I'm hitting my B flat here and my C down here. No wonder. No wonder this doesn't, like grenadilla in general, I noticed doesn't really respond well to me. And I think it's just because I'm such a front player. But as you can tell, if you play with the back of your mouth, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. I think that's why I also said that people would, back players would love the grenadilla lip plate too. If you're a very back player, you'll love the grenadilla full head joint. So good. So good. Okay. I just have to think back. Like tiny air bubble that I'm like target hitting. Okay. So let's try just kind of noodling around a little bit more. Yeah, goes all the way back. This is making me think of something that I thought I would warn you guys about, actually. I do have some experience with some students who are maybe not as experienced with the flute. And when they try to grenadilla, they're like, oh my gosh, I can play this. This is great. I'm wondering if it's because most people place the lower notes too far back, and then a grenadilla, it just works there. So, because what I often found was the issue was that we would play on that head joint for a while, but then once I start to get them to play higher notes and go more into that warm sound, they started to have more trouble with that. And so we experiment with bringing their low notes forward, and then in so doing, it doesn't sound good on a grenadilla. Yeah, that's interesting. So you're a super front player. I mean, if you're a super front player, it's the most expensive one here, but it would probably work the best for you. It's the second one that I reviewed today, which was the 14 karat everything and 18 karat whatchamacallit, riser. So okay, yeah, this is definitely for back players. Okay, right, we're going to now do articulation. So I'm gonna expect that I'm gonna be tonguing from the bottom of my teeth all the way back. So yeah, even for an F, it like, I'm actually hitting the middle of my tooth already, which is very unusual. That's very far back for such a low note. So it's a little too far forward on the high one. There it is. Clearer, you hear that? Not as screamy up there. Oh, that has to be way further back than I expect. So the way that I feel like I'm playing this is as if on my regular flute, it feels like I'm playing this whole thing, but an octave higher. So that high F really felt like, I was like, whoa, I'm like feeling like I'm playing up to a high D, something like that. Like it has that feeling for me. Wow, that goes way far back. And the way that I'm double tonguing is kind of similar to how the other one's double tongue. You hit that point, that air bubble that you want, and then you do a little like K around it. Okay, so that's what I'm doing, but I'm kind of like following that air bubble going all the way back, going like this around it. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, so tone, color, and dynamics is going to be interesting on this one. Don't you love that like woody sound for the hollow tone? Okay, this is one of those flutes where, because most of the activity is happening against the roof of the mouth, so it's all against the teeth and the roof of the mouth, there's a lot of empty space, negative space underneath. So you mess with that negative space for the richness or hollowness of the tone. So if you want it to be really rich and fat tone color, you make that negative space as wide as possible and kind of like clamp down on it a little bit. And then the opposite, which is to make it really hollow, is you kind of like make that negative space narrow this way in your mouth. Okay. So this is very typical. This is more of a typical thing on a flute that I'm used to. So okay, so, and in terms of dynamics, it's how big is that air bubble? That air bubble is already very tiny on this one, so you don't have to make the air bubble too big in order to get a really big sound. So small air bubble, tiny air bubble will give you a nice soft sound, very piano, very focused, and then a bigger bubble will give you that big sound. So that one is both rich, beefy, so that negative space is really like wide and the air bubble is really big. Yeah, so that one I'm making the air bubble really tiny, and I'm also like making that negative space as as squashed vertically as possible. Oh, right, it has to be further back in my mouth. Yeah. See, nicer sound, but definitely not very natural to me. So back players, calling out to all my back players out there, you'll really like this. You'll really like this. If it sounds like you are spitting and screaming into like every other flute you ever play, try something with a bit of grenadilla in it. It might just kind of like help offset that a little bit for you. Excellent. Okay, last flute, you guys, last flute. Last head joint, that is. So while I put this away, I need to tell you guys how much this one costs. This one costs $2,100. So as far as I understand, grenadilla compared to the other woods that we've tried today is a little bit more common, I think. So you know, so I think that accounts for that price difference there. So there you go. Oh, so pretty. Okay, last one. This one is pink ivory wood tube. Let me change the specs for you guys. Boom. All right, it's this little beauty here. So I'm gonna bring it up to the camera and then focus it. Okay, so it's this little beauty here. So looking at the specs here, we are working with pink ivory wood tube, lip plate, and riser. So this whole thing, similar to how the last one was all granadilla wood, this one is all pink ivory wood. 14K gold tenon. So this thing is 14 karat gold. Yeah, there you go. I think that about covers it. So let me give you guys that very juicy close-up. Excellent. So I'm just going to bring it up real close. Make sure you guys can see the whole thing. Very pretty, isn't it? It's a sort of like reddish wood. It's very smooth too. I like it. And just to give you guys a nice big close-up of the cut here. Well, let me make sure that we're in focus here. Okay, there we go. Ah, so pretty. I think I actually need to back it up a bit here. Give me a sec, guys. There we go, that's better. Ah, so pretty. Look at that, like, wood grain. So pretty. I love the wood grain on all of these. Oh, yes. I know it looks almost marble, doesn't it? Okay, so let's switch you guys back, and I'm gonna zoom this baby out, refocus it. Okay, lovely. So let's try it again on my Brannon and see if it fits. It fits. So it's pretty loose though, so we're going to grab a piece of tape. I would say something about that big maybe might work. Okay, let's try that. I don't really know how pink ivory is going to respond to me. Ooh, that was a really good fit there. Okay. I'm getting pretty good at eyeballing how much tape I need. All right, let's try this. Here we go. I don't know what to expect. I don't think I tried anything pink ivory before. I might have tried pink ivory Nagahara Mini, I think, but I have no memory as to how I responded to it. So let's see. Oh, we are back to front playing. We're back to front playing. Definitely back to front playing, as you guys can hear. Works a little better for me, right? Doesn't it? Okay, but I don't really know what's going on yet, so let's do some harmonics, tone matching. Oh, that's interesting. You hear how that C came out a lot more easily? Definitely more front playing here. And that C is actually really hard to get out on this particular flute. So this is very interesting. Do you guys remember how I said that on, which one was it? They're all starting to blend together. But there was one head joint where I said that the whole thing plays really hollow. And so you have to kind of like, no, the whole thing plays really rich. So you have to kind of hollow it out a bit. They're all blending together. I cannot remember which head joint it was. I will also have to go through this live stream too to figure out which one it is. So, okay. So this one is the exact opposite. This one plays hollow naturally. So if you want that rich sound to come through, you have to make it, you have to kind of do that squashy thing to squash it out on the side. So you almost feel like there's like 2 parasite bubbles on the sides. Okay, so you have, it's the same air pocket thing, okay, that moves, but there's 2 little parasite bubbles on the side of the moving bubble. So, which tells me that this plays hollow more readily. And then you have to work harder to make it rich. So if you play on flutes and everything feels like you're overdoing the richness of it, like it, you guys have heard me play on some flutes where I test out how rich I can go and then I start overdoing it. So if you sound like that on most flutes, you might like pink ivory, because pink ivory essentially takes that but hollows it out for you. So kind of balances you out. So yeah. So I'm only getting that rich sound by like doing, you know, like squashing that bubble down. So that it's like horizontally squashed down and it's really thick and wide. Yeah. So I'm gonna try the whole range. I'm trying to place exactly how far forward it goes. Okay, so this one I would say feels similar in terms of placement as the very first head joint, which I think is why I'm like doing this a little bit more naturally. And I actually almost forgot to tell you guys where I'm feeling that air pocket. So that air pocket starts like right at the lips, kind of just behind it, but bleeding a little bit into where your lips start. So those low notes are, you're gonna feel like the inner part of your lips are like really vibrating with it. And then that air pocket goes up and back and up as you go higher and higher. And it only goes up to about, I would say it actually goes a little bit further back than the first, no, goes further back than the second head joint, but around the same as the first. So it's kind of goes into sort of the front 1/3 of the mouth is kind of where your high notes sit. Yeah, so. I'm trying to figure out where the D and E are. Yeah, that's about right in terms of the range. Okay, so now let's do some articulation. I'm gonna guess it's a similar idea, just to double tongue against the bottom of the tongue and double tongue against the bottom of the air bubble. Yep. You know, I would say that it's actually, it starts, it's a larger range than the first head joint. So it actually goes further back than the first head joint, but it starts at the same point. Okay, so it's a larger range on this one. It's a little bit more forgiving, therefore. Yep. So the range is bigger, but the starting point is the same as the first head joint. So it's like starts right behind your front teeth. The higher notes really go into like the back half of the mouth. So I think even higher probably goes further back. So it's a pretty large range from the right behind your lips to maybe about, I would say, 3/4 of the way back in the mouth. Pretty large range. So okay, so now let's try tone, color, and dynamics. Ooh, I'm really trying to push how rich it can go. It can take it. So this, I'm right. If you tend to over rich other flutes, this one will be able to, like, this one can take you. Let's see if I go super hollow. Oh, that is unreal. That almost sounds kind of like creepy. You hear how hollow that is? Okay, so this one, it's not like the Grenadilla where you're playing with the empty space underneath the kind of activity in your mouth. This one plays with that air pocket itself. So it's as expected. If you squash down that air pocket horizontally, you make it really fat and wide and okay, then put a lot of air into it, you'll get a really rich, beefy sound, and it can take it. It can take being pushed. And then if you go really hollow, this one is so hollow, it sounds creepy, and I love it. Really great for special effects, in my opinion. This might be an interesting investment for professional musicians who are going into recording work. So if you're going into recording work and you need to have this kind of like range of tone color and it can take both ends, this is the one that can do it. I definitely think recording, people in recording work, you know, video game stuff, soundtrack stuff, okay? I think this would do it. Yeah. Play the second movement of the Poulenc Flute Sonata with the hollow sound. You know, we're on the last one. Might as well. And I'm done now. By the way, this is what? This one costs $3,070. So I definitely think if you do this for a living and you are going into recording soundtrack type of stuff and you want that kind of crazy, like wide palette of colors, This one will do it. So you guys want to hear Poulenc? Let's try a little bit of it, if I can find it. Come on. There it is. Okay. I'll try it. Just a bit, okay? Not too much. So we're going for the super hollow sound, right? That's creepy. I'm not used to the placement. I'm trying to go extreme. Where's the placement of that one? Yeah, definitely if you're going into recording, this can give you like for example, if a composer were to ask you like, hey, can you make that even creepier? Can you make it even you know, more hollow, more kind of, you know, like, then this thing can do it. This thing can actually do it. All right, guys, I'm done. I'm very tired now. I'm so glad I took that 5-minute break. My goodness. Yeah, it sounds terrifying, doesn't it? Yeah, like it's, the flute has a very disconcerting sound when you play that hollow, that quietly. Like it legit sounds scary. So, oh my goodness. All right, guys, we are now at the end where I get to just kind of clean up these flutes and chat with you. So now that I'm done, thanks, guys. You guys are so sweet. How are y'all doing? I didn't really get to ask you at the beginning of this. I figured that, you know, what happened, I was thinking about how to improve these review streams, and I realized that I kind of spent way too long chatting with you guys in the beginning, and I thought, why don't I just do it at the end when I'm cleaning up, you know? So let's first put away my flutes. So let's start with the Mancke. And you guys can see what I'm doing here too. Isn't that great? I love this second camera. Oh, so great. Oh, so I'm just going to make that go away. So what did you all think about all these head joints? I freaking love them. I've heard a lot about Mancke head joints, but this is not what I expected. The level of control is insane. It feels like you're playing or you're driving a car completely manual. So yeah, there really is not much of a margin of error. I would say that out of all of these, the one that has the largest margin of error is the pink ivory. The pink ivory has the largest margin of error for kind of placement of the notes. So I'm gonna guess that most people would feel that the pink ivory responds a little bit more easily. But those other ones, if you know what you're doing, you can really control them to sound very interesting. You want me to try the first one again? Okay, give me a second here. Let me at least do some cleanup, okay? So I'll clean up my flute, my Mancke, because I think that one fit in my Brannon. So let me clean this up. And by the way, for those of you guys who don't know why I wipe down my flute after every time I play, it's because I have very high acidic content in my sweat. I'm one of those people. So nothing really happens to your flute though if you do a light wipe down after every session. So that's why I'm doing this. I did not find this out until after I purchased my Brannon because by the way, I'm just gonna put this away real quickly, but I'll put it together again once I am finished cleaning those other ones. I just don't want this one to be in the way. But yeah, once I purchased this guy, I wasn't used to the idea of wiping it down after every time I played. And so my sweat got into the mechanism and it caused the rod in here, this rod right here, to rust. So you guys might see that there's like an extra, I'll see if I can show you here. Oh, nice big close up. There's an extra incision right there. Do you see that? I think you guys can just see it. Let's do a big close up. So let me just, yeah, there we go. Good. Right there. If I move it in the light, you guys might see it. There's a little extra incision right there. So they did that specifically. I think you still can't see it because of the lighting. But they did that because in that way I could, you know, when I wipe it down, and they also like re-oiled it for me. It helps the oil stay in there, like the oil that they put in there. It helps the oil stay in there so that it doesn't like rust. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, you guys can see it. Oh, sweet, excellent. Yeah. So yeah, there's a little extra incision in there that normally is not there. I think. So anyway, I'm putting that away for now, just a quick wipe down, but I gotta wipe these guys down now. So I'm just gonna just make sure that they're actually dry. You know, can never be too certain. So just gotta make sure they're nice and dry. Basically you guys can see my cleanup process after. I'm just gonna take off my Scotch tapes. There we go. One down. Where's my pile of Scotch tape? There we go. Just gonna wipe that down. Make sure I don't leave all my oils on this thing. These gorgeous things. You're jealous that I have a roller. I did specifically custom order that because I have small hands, so it just made sense to have a roller. I do notice that rollers are becoming more and more standard, which is pretty nice. It's fun to kind of see how different things become standard over time. So the split E I'm noticing is starting to become standard. Even C# trill is starting to become standard, which is awesome. I think that's fantastic. You can do a lot with C# trill. Pile of Scotch tape. See, it's all become one, but there was a separate pile of Scotch tape rejects. You know, when I put too much on. Okay, so. Of course, I have no nails to do this. Because me with my small hands, I literally cannot play the flute properly with long fingernails. Can you guys do that? Because I know that some of you guys can. Also, I see that someone, yeah. Oriana, you're saying that you're jealous of my C-sharp trill. I also custom ordered that. Had to make that happen, man. Had to make that happen. Oh, this one is peeling off very strangely. Okay, that was really weird. Come on, come on. This is coming out in tendrils. Scotch tape tendrils. All right, give me a second here. Come on. Come on, piece of tape. You can come out. Oh, Amir, I feel your pain. I think at one point I was, when I started the Chaminade, if my memory serves me correctly, I think I started it on my beginner model flute, which you definitely could feel could not really like stand up to that kind of playing, you know, like it was way too much for that flute to handle. So it sounded very like almost the keys were laggy, if that makes sense. So I totally feel you, man. I feel you. I'm so sorry that you're going through that. Like trying to take the price tag off a gift without wrecking the box. That is exactly what's going on here, guys. That is exactly what's going on. Okay, so I think that is nice and dried, nice and wiped down. So this set is ready to go. So let's put the lid on. Put this on the side. And then for this one, why don't we go in reverse order of cleaning? Oh, Haynes commercial does it not have a low B? Is that what's going on with that one? Oh wow. Whoa, I just realized how heavy this one is. I believe this one is the platinum. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this one has a platinum riser and it is really heavy. Oh my gosh. It's very, very top heavy. Okay, got one. I'm getting better at this, guys. Can you tell? Got one. We're just gonna take off all the tape, except for the last one. So. Okay, I think this one is also gonna come out in tendrils. Yep. So. Gotta get more of a grip on this. Okay. There we go, there we go, there we go. Got it. So, we'll do that. And then second to last one, and then I will take off the other one after I play with it on my flute again. So, oh guys, I'm trying to make it so that this doesn't come out in tendrils too. It's really annoying when you have to go back and do it again. Okay, that should give me enough of a grip. Yeah, excellent. Okay, so now the other piece of tape, I guess I will also take this off for them because it's kind of coming out. So let's just take it off for them. There. Okay, so nice and clean. Yeah. All right, give this a nice wipe down. Okay, I'm just gonna try and not touch it with my oily fingers. How many of us are in the chat are like me? We're like, no matter what it is you touch, you just leave oil streaks everywhere. My goodness. It's really annoying. You know, and then like when I'm holding things like music programs, you know, like when I'm in a concert and I'm holding the program notes, the oils in my fingers will actually warp the paper. Do you guys have that? Oh, Jane wants me to try the E-Bear on that head joint. Okay, sure. That'll be interesting. But yeah, my fingers will like warp program notes. Yeah, oil everywhere. Yeah, you guys are like that too? Yeah, I am too. And it's so annoying. You can't sneak anywhere, you know, if you like snuck a little thing out of like a Tupperware or a pot in your refrigerator. It's very obvious you've been there, you know, cookie jar. Okay, so we've got 3 of them clean. We will now try this one again on my flute. So, oh, I'm just gonna put this under here because I have a little trunk under here, so I have a little bit of extra space. Okay, let's try this again. This is not part of the review, disclaimer, okay? This is me now wondering how this head joint feels, like giving this head joint another go. So this is the very first one. You know what? Fine, let's put it the specs. That one. So it's the one with the Mopane lip plate. I took one look at the, like when I was making these last night, I took one look at the specs for this first one and I was like, oh no. I can already kind of tell that it might work really nicely for me. I wanted to also show you guys. They did something very interesting with this lip plate. Do you see how there's like 2 little circle cutouts? I'm gonna make this large so you guys can see. Close up. There you go. Yeah, you guys can see it. It's like little circle cutouts in here and in here. Right there. Right there. That is so interesting. I wonder what the purpose of that is. Don't know, guys. Okay, let's refocus this. There. Woo! Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know, I am practicing the E-Bear flute concerto on my Twitch channel. So that's why Jane was asking for that. Also, I need to pop on my thumb port again. So. Oh gosh, the fingerings. I haven't done this in a few days. Hands down, that was the best that's ever come out. Wow. What were the notes? And I'm not going to play the next part because I've been drilling that part. But wow. This feels so good. I forget how the beginning of the second movement goes. Oh, okay, right. Ah. There it is. It's been a hot minute. Okay. Okay. Slightly sinister tone. I love it. Oh my gosh. Let's do my favorites. Oh, Baroque pieces. Baroque pieces. Okay. Okay, now my question for myself is how am I going to afford this? So, ay. Okay. let's do my favorite. Okay. Oh yeah, you guys can see what I'm looking at. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Go fun, Joanna. Well, I'll definitely chat about it with my husband. We'll see. I do really love this one. Let's try something faster. There we go. Oh, sorry, too low. I didn't do that right. Oh my gosh. Yep. So I'm gonna talk. I need to do a little bit of behind the scenes talking. So you guys are gonna have to give me a little bit of space to figure out what we're gonna do with this. I was not expecting this, so yeah. I knew it was going to be within this price range. So anyway, you can tell I'm thinking of a business plan while I'm playing. Yeah. So, okay, you know what, guys? I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm thinking about coming out with a merchandise line. So just real simple, nothing crazy. But you know, I guess if you guys really do want to help me out, you guys can maybe support me. So yeah, this is a huge chunk of money that I was not ready to look for until about next year. So yep, gonna have to talk to my husband and the Flute Center of New York. See what we can work out. But for now, I have to clean this baby up. Dang it, guys. It's that Mopane wood, man. It's that Mopane wood. Apparently, I am a copper player. So specifically rose gold, so copper with gold. And Mopane, because my Nagahara is Mopane. So, dang it, really? 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 Does that have to happen now? I'm gonna leave the tape on. You guys would buy merch? Okay. Well, just so you guys know, I am taking a week off in May. Oh my gosh! Jane, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, that is so generous of you. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. So I will do some discussion behind the scenes. So you guys will probably not hear an update from me regarding this for a while, okay? So just so you guys know, it's not going to be an immediate thing. This is a huge chunk of money, so I need to really think about it. So yeah, I know I am in the denial stage right now. I completely know, but the thing is, I really need to think about this seriously. So it's going to take a lot of kind of, I'm not going to promise you guys that I'm going to get this one, but it's a very high contender. It is a very high contender. Okay. Well, that was a little bonus for you guys. I really should go now. I am way over time by about an hour and 45 minutes. So, but anyway, I love you all very, very much. Please stay happy, healthy, and safe. And please continue social distancing, but also reach out to a community. So I'm just going to give another shout out to the Flute Zone Discord. It is run by one of my former students. Really great little community. I drop in every now and then, not all the time, but it's a great little community. Everyone's so nice. So please reach out, join some sort of community to keep yourself connected with other humans. It's really, really important that we band together to get through this crazy time together. So I love you guys so very much. And I will see you guys in the next stream. I'm probably going to be streaming again next week here on YouTube, just something fun. And we'll see what happens. All right. So you guys can wait for an update on the whole head joint thing. Sometime in the future. I will not make promises, okay? If there's something I learned about being on YouTube, it's not making promises, okay? So, guys, all right. All right, I'll see you guys later. If you guys want to see me again sooner than later, I will be on Twitch tomorrow. So go to justanotherflutist.com, go to the Twitch tab, and you'll see a little schedule of when I'll be on Twitch. Come join me there. We're a really fun little group there. Everyone's just kind of practicing with me and, geeking out. It's fun. All right, love y'all so much. See you next time, and thanks again to the Flute Center of New York for sponsoring this live stream and for sending these gorgeous head joints to me to try. Just absolutely freaking gorgeous. All right, love y'all so much. Bye. When I can find the outro slide, finding the slide. Okay, see you for real.